Apple's about to put liquid inside the iPhone 17 Pro. It's a deliberate, calculated engineering decision. That could be the most important upgrade to the iPhone in years. It's a secret weapon, one that promises to rewrite the rules of performance and longevity for the device in your pocket. If you've ever felt your iPhone get uncomfortably warm during a long gaming session, if you've seen the screen suddenly dim for no reason while you re-out in the sun, or if you've been recording precious 4K video only for a temperature warning to shut everything down, then you have personally experienced the single greatest bottleneck in modern smartphones: heat. And for years, Apple has been in a silent war with physics, trying to cram more power into an and the problem, ironically, is the iPhone's own incredible power. This means using materials like graphite sheets in the phone's metal frame to absorb heat and spread it out. Think of it like trying to cool a hot pan by just letting it sit on the counter. The challenge has always been shrinking it down to fit inside an iPhone without making it thicker or heavier. Based on the latest leaks, it seems Apple has finally cracked the code, engineering a system for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max models. It just moves the hotspot around inside the phone's sealed body, making the whole device feel warm. The A-series chips are engineering marvels, consistently blowing the competition out of the water. But all that performance comes at a cost: heat. Inside this sealed chamber are two key things: a tiny drop of a working fluid, usually just deionized water, and a vacuum. When that A19 Pro chip gets too hot, the iPhone's sensors do the only thing they can to protect the components. They deliberately slow the chip down. That's thermal throttling. It's a continuous self-regulating and incredibly efficient loop of constantly moving thermal energy from where it's made to where it can be safely kicked out. This is why a vapor chamber is so much more effective than a slab of graphite. It doesn't just spread heat, it actively transports it. The inside walls of the chamber are lined with a porous material called a wick structure, but the universal complaint is performance drops and stuttering. After 15 to 20 minutes, as the phone heats up, the problem of hot spots on the back of the phone will be greatly diminished, because the vapor chamber spreads heat more evenly before it's dissipated. High temperatures degrade lithium-ion batteries, reducing their ability to hold a charge. It will perform closer to its advertised potential for more of the time, closing the gap between benchmark scores and real-world use. It's a promise of performance without the usual compromises. Engineering a copper chamber that thin, ensuring a perfect vacuum seal for years, and fitting it around the chip and battery is an incredible feat. A robust cooling system is a foundational requirement to let these advanced AI features run efficiently without killing the battery or turning the phone into a pocket warmer. The vapor chamber is Apple laying the groundwork for the apps of the next 5 years. The thermal demands of the A19 Pro chip, especially with its AI focus, have probably made advanced cooling a must. At the same time, Apple's manufacturing is likely now at a point where they can produce these complex parts at the scale and precision needed for an iPhone launch. So, what do you think? What part of this new cooling tech are you most excited about? Is it the promise of better gaming with no more frame drops, or the long-term benefit of better battery health? There are also whispers that Apple might switch back to aluminum for parts of the Pro chassis, as it could work better with the vapor chamber to improve thermal efficiency. It represents years of R&D finally paying off, marking a moment where the raw power of Apple's silicon might finally be unleashed without compromise. A phone that runs cooler is a phone with a healthier battery. It will be smarter, cooler, and more capable, all thanks to a meticulously engineered system that uses a single drop of liquid and the laws of physics to potentially change the game. Smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more tech challenges, future experiments, and real talk from TechShwave65. This means not only could your daily battery life improve from better efficiency, but the long-term health of your battery will be significantly better, potentially extending the useful life of the device. It could lead to better gaming, faster pro work, a longer-lasting battery, and a device that's simply more reliable and comfortable to use. It's the key that may unlock the next era of mobile computing, one defined by demanding on-device AI and even more powerful applications. Apple doesn't adopt new tech until it can be done perfectly without compromising the iPhone's design. A vapor chamber could be the solution, meaning higher, more stable frame rates for longer. For years, the conversation around new phones has been about camera megapixels and processor speeds. But with the vapor chamber, Apple is shifting the focus to a more critical part of performance: sustainability. The iPhone 17 Pro will probably still use graphite sheets alongside the new vapor chamber. In this system, the vapor chamber is the express train moving heat away from the CPU, and the graphite sheets are the local roads, distributing that heat evenly across the back for dissipation. The gaming experience would be smoother and more immersive, free from frustrating lag spikes caused by heat. Imagine exporting a 4000 ProRes video in half the time because the processor isn't being held back. Think of complex photo edits in Lightroom that stay fluid and responsive, no matter how long you work. Through a phenomenon called capillary action, it passively draws the condensed liquid back toward the heat source. This heat is then efficiently transferred through the copper and dissipated through the phone's frame. Away from the core components, the vapor chamber sits right on top of the hottest part, the A19 Pro chip. It doesn't just sit there, it actively moves away from the hotspot and spreads throughout the chamber, looking for a cooler area. The benefits of this tech are tangible and could fundamentally change the experience of using an iPhone. This happens in a split second. The vapor basically acts as a transport vehicle. As the chip heats up, that energy transfers to the copper plate and causes the tiny drop of liquid inside to instantly vaporize, turning into a gas. The upcoming A19 Pro chip, expected to power the iPhone 17 Pro, will push these limits even further. Normally, yes. But the key is the vacuum inside the chamber. The vacuum drastically lowers the liquid's boiling point. This is the magic trick. The liquid doesn't need to get scorching hot to work. It can start turning to vapor at much lower, safer temperatures, kicking off the cooling process almost instantly. It won't just be handling more demanding games and higher race video, but also a massive new workload. On-device, artificial intelligence. These complex AI models require sustained high-intensity processing, which generates a ton of heat. The problem is called thermal throttling, and the solution, according to a growing number of reports, sounds like something from science fiction. A vapor chamber? This isn't just another minor spec bump. The introduction of a vapor chamber cooling system represents a fundamental shift in how Apple designs its most important product. You see it when the screen dims itself to reduce heat. The phone is literally hitting the brakes to avoid a meltdown. It means the peak performance Apple advertises on stage is often only available in short bursts. For anything that takes a while, you're not getting the full power you paid for Apple to move forward, for AI to run smoothly, and for pro performance to actually be sustained. The heat has to be dealt with. Spreading it around isn't enough anymore. Apple needs to actively and rapidly move it away from the chip. It's a technology that has been rumored for years, with famed analyst Ming-Chi Kuo first flagging Apple's interest way back in 2021. Leakers like Majin Buu have even shared alleged photos of internal copper components apparently designed for the iPhone 17 Pro. While sources like these have a mixed track record, the sheer volume of converging reports from the supply chain suggests that this time, it might really be happening. Apple's getting ready to unleash the full, untethered potential of its silicon. And to do it, they have to solve the heat problem for good. This is the story of how a single, strategically placed drop of liquid could make your next iPhone faster, more reliable, and more powerful than you can imagine. Section 1. The problem. A victim of its own success, until now, the iPhone has relied entirely on passive cooling. Section 2. The solution. A vapor chamber is a passive closed-loop cooling system. It's essentially a very thin, flat, sealed copper plate. The best way to think about it is as a microscopic self-contained air conditioner for your processor, with no pumps and no moving parts. Here's how this secret weapon works inside the iPhone. Now, you might be thinking, doesn't water need to be at 100 degrees Celsius to boil? Third, condensation and heat release. As the hot vapor travels to the cooler parts of the chamber, closer to the iPhone S, from it condenses back into a liquid. Once the liquid is back at the hot spot, it immediately vaporizes, and the whole cycle repeats, thousands of times a second. Section 3. The real-world impact unleashing the beast. The biggest benefit is sustained performance. Tackling aggressive thermal throttling means the A19 Pro chip can run at or near its peak speed for much longer. For gamers, this is the holy grail. Mobile games like Genshin Impact are incredibly sophisticated, but the benefits go beyond pro use cases. Ultimately, adding a vapor chamber should make the iPhone 17 Pro a more reliable and consistent tool. While other companies have used vapor chambers, Apple's implementation is expected to be a masterclass in integration. The main challenge is miniaturization. A vapor chamber, even a super thin one, takes up precious internal space where every millimeter is already spoken for. Some rumors even suggest the thermal system could be modular, extending to other hot components like the camera. This won't be an off-the-shelf part. It will be a custom-designed, Apple-engineered solution, finely tuned for the iPhone 17 Pro. This is a huge leap forward, and it's going to affect different people in different ways. And if you want to stay on top of all the latest details about the iPhone 17 Pro, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. The story of the iPhone 17 Pro's secret weapon is about more than a new component. It's a turning point. It acknowledges a simple truth. Peak power is pointless if you can't sustain it. The iPhone 17 Pro won't just be faster in a test.